Yeah, I don't think this is on. Let's see. Okay, Peter's got it on now. Hey, Shabbat Shalom!
Shabbat Shalom.
I think there are a lot of people here who are not usually with us. So I would love to invite you, if you are visiting our beautiful congregation or here for the first time, just wave. Let's see, who are you? And we know who you are. See, I saw that, like, should we wave? Yes, you should wave, totally. Hello, will you guys who are brand new just stand up for a second? I won't embarrass you for long, but just tell us your name and where you're from and like why you're here. We're so happy to have you. I can go first. Great. Welcome. And you brought a whole entourage? Oh, new friends.
No relation, yeah.
Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you. Great. Where in New York? New York City where? Chelsea. Awesome. Welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome. We're so happy to have all of you guys. And yay!
Salto.
Awesome. Well, welcome and Mazel Tov. And Vicki, maybe will you just like stand up for a second and say something about this amazing weekend for your wonderful, I was going to say child. I guess he is your child, but he is taller than you are when he stood up.
Well, I prepared remarks for tomorrow, but I would say we're here for my son's bar mitzvah. He is having that tomorrow. He is a student at Braunig in San Francisco in 8th grade, and he first came here when he was a newborn or if he's not in utero. So, growing up here. So we hope all of you people, we got to come for a good day.
Well, Mazel Tov, Vicki, Ben, and family. Did you guys all hear that? Ben's been here since he was an infant or maybe even in utero, so at least 13 years. So we're really happy to be able to celebrate this great milestone with you. Can you not hear me? People cannot hear me. Peter, can we fix that problem maybe? Let's see. Is that better? Okay, awesome. If you can't hear me, wave or do something amazing. I'm Rabbi Jessica Graf, together with Cantor, Toby, Glaser, Rabbi Phelps, and our amazing guest musician tonight. We welcome you to our sanctuary here at Congregation Shereth Israel. Please help us fill this beautiful dome with lai, with prayers of your own heart, and with feeling of wonderful Shabbat and community. I'd like to invite Lindsey Braunig, President of our Board of Trustees, to say a word of welcome.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I'm so glad to see everybody here, and welcome to our visitors. I can testify that Ben was in fact here in utero because I was here when he was. We were at a mom's group. Anyway, it's wonderful to see everybody, and wonderful to be here to help celebrate Ben. And I also just want to acknowledge the email that all of our members got today announcing that Rabbi Phelps was going to be moving to Milwaukee at the end of the school year, and also saying how much I appreciate the outpouring of love that has come to me and probably also to Rabbi Phelps, just saying how much we'll miss her and also how happy people are for her that she's taking this really wonderful step in her life. It's just a wonderful reflection of our community. So always makes me proud to be part of this community. Thank you so much and enjoy the services.
Shabbat shalom.
Audible, am I good? Yes, excellent. Yes, Lindsey said everything I would want to say. I am sufficiently emotional as to be slightly discombobulated, but I appreciate all of the outpourings of support that I have gotten, beautiful sentiments along the lines of happy for me, sad for everybody else, and I feel similarly. I'm also happy for me and sad because this is a place I love and your people I love. So thank you for being such an extraordinary community. And I'm not going anywhere right away, so speaking of which,
Still gotta work.
exactly. Well, and we gotta enjoy Shabbat. We gotta have some nice rest together. So we're going to start that process by inviting Ben and Vicki Keston to come up and light the Shabbat candles for us.
Ben practicing his match lighting a little bit, just to make sure. All right. Come over here first. That's okay. It's fine. I don't think you do it. It's okay. You're doing great.
Oh, nicely done, sir.
Zalto. Shake it out. There we go. Okay, come over here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik nech shel Shabbat.
Amen. Beautiful chanting, Ben. Thank you. Oh, sorry, you take that one. I'll take this one. Sorry. So great to hear you lead the community in chanting our blessing like that. Thank you, Ben.
And we are looking forward to hearing more of the same over the course of this evening and tomorrow afternoon. We're now going to take a few moments to welcome Shabbat in the manner of the mystics of Tzfat who would go out into the fields and bring Shabbat in the form of a beloved spouse that they got to rejoin every week. We're going to join together in the song Lecha Dodi, which you can find on page 20 in your prayer books.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת תקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת תקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, כי ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו תפארת וליבי תהילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת תקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת תקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. נראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We rise to greet the Shabbat angels. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוניה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing now and call one another to prayer formally as a community with the Barchu, which you can find on page 28.
Ya da da ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. יא די די יא די 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 די. יא די די יא די 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 די. יא די 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 די. יא די די.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. We join together in Ahavat Olam in Hebrew on page 32.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Uchim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta. כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בפיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהיה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
You may be seated unless you are Ben Keston, in which case I would like to invite you to come rejoin us on the Bima to help lead us in the Ve'ahavta, which you can find on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצאך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצא אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohim emet. Amazing work, beautiful chanting. Thank you, Ben.
We now recall the moment when we first tasted freedom after our long period of oppression in Egypt. We crossed the Sea of Reeds and we looked out onto the vast wilderness and knew at last that we were free. We celebrate that moment and all the freedoms that we enjoy and that we must work to preserve whenever we join together in Micha Mocha. You can find Micha Mocha on page 40.
מיכה מוכה באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילו דוסף אלה, נורא תהילו דוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. כי פרע אדוני את יעקב, וגלום יד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גל ישראל.
I want to invite you, if you're here in the sanctuary with us, to take a moment to gaze up at the dome, appreciate the beauty of this sukkah, this shelter that covers over us. But all of us who are together this evening, whether we're physically present or elsewhere, share the shelter of the sukkah of shalom, the shelter of peace that God extends over us at all times. We give thanks for that shelter of peace with Hashkivenu, which you can find on page 43.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right, Adonai. Amen. 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 Amen.
When we join our voices in prayer, we take advantage of the amplification of our intentions, of our prayers, to pray for healing for all those in our community who are in need of healing, whether it be of mind, body, or spirit. We're going to join together in Mishaberach now on page 253, and we will pause in the middle to name some people in our community who are particularly in need of healing this Shabbat. Page 253.
Mishaberach Avotenu Bekol habracha limutenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
On this Shabbat, we pray for healing for Shoshana Chana Asher, Sharon Carmen, Jeremy Frick, Michael Gaines, Mikiko Huang, William Kurian, Monica Levin, Carolyn Resnikoff, Agnes Rothblatt, and Annette Wiener. To those names, we add any people for whom you are wishing for healing today. Please feel free to share those names aloud together. We wish them refuah shlema, full healing of mind, body, and spirit. Continue on page 253 with Mishaberach.
Mishaberach imotenu bekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amidah on page 46 as we set our intention for the central part of our prayer, our own personal and communal calling out to God. So take just a moment to think about where you're at as you come into this space to be together with all of us as one. And when you feel ready to stand before God, no small preparation, I admit. We'll stand and turn to page 46 as we ask God to open our lips.
Yada-dai-dai-dai, 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 yada-dai-dai-dai. Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yada-dai-dai-dai, 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 yada-dai-dai-dai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, יעשה שלום עלינו, ויעל כל, ויעל כל, ויעל כל ישראל, ויעל כל, ויעל כל, ויעל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן, ואמרו אמן. We ask for peace on earth, and we say Amen. Ve'imeru Amen, ve'imeru Amen. We raise our voice as one, and we say Amen.
Let's see if we can get, there we go. Is this on? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Tomorrow afternoon, Ben is going to talk so beautifully about sibling relationships, rivalry, reconciliation, all of that. But that's in next week's Torah portion and the next generation. So I want to mention something about the sibling rivalry and reconciliation and encounter that happens in the generation before we get to Joseph that results in the situation that Joseph encounters with his own brothers. But this week, before the changeover on Shabbat afternoon to next week's Torah portion, this week we read from Parshat Vayishlach. And I don't know if anyone had a chance yet, or maybe ever. Do people read the J? Just by show of hands? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, amazing. Okay, sometimes a little, maybe. Well, I had the privilege to be asked to write the drash on the Torah in this week's J. Anybody seen it yet? Not yet. Okay. Oh, it's all new, fresh information. So when you see it, I can't remember if this week might be an online week, I think, but you'll find it. It's my comments on Vayishlach. If you can't find it, I'm happy to email it to you. But I wrote this commentary a couple of weeks ago. It feels even more relevant to our community now. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you in just a minute. But let me tell you a little something about what I said in my drash about this Torah portion. And those of you who were with me 2 weeks ago in Torah study, we talked about these 3 parshiot. I know David and Jerry were there, Al and Artis. We have a few people, David and Jerry and Al and Artis. Zach was there, and perhaps others, I don't know. Mimi, I think you might have been there. We talked about the way that the story of Jacob really begins, this struggling in the womb, when the sibling rivalry begins in utero between these fetuses that are twins. And what happens over the course of 3 parshiot as Jacob steals the birthright from Esau. So those of you who were with us, we looked at how this progressed from the stealing of the birthright until this week's Torah portion. I cheated a little bit by starting early on the next 2 parshiot. But here we are, having arrived now at Vayishlach, and the Torah portion about the encounter of Jacob and Esau, 2 Torah portions after Jacob steals the birthright. And hi, Jacob Spiegel, I wasn't talking about you, but welcome. 2 Torah portions after you walked in, right on cue, right after Jacob, our ancestor, steals the birthright from his brother. There's something that happens within him, I think, when we look at this parshiot, that's really about restlessness. Something's not right deep down in his kishkas. He takes this birthright and seems to have no remorse at the time, but something, there's this turmoil that stays with him, and it never lets him rest from that time until this Torah portion. He can't sleep. We know that because it's in this time of not sleeping that he has this incredible dream about the sulam, the ladder, and the angels going up and down. We know that because in this Torah portion we encounter Jacob, and we're told that he's about to lie down in his camp to sleep for the night. The Torah says, Hu lan balayla hahu b'machaneh. He's about to lie down and have this restful sleep in his machaneh, in his camp. But in the very next verse, Jacob wakes up in the middle of the night, and he moves his entire party, which includes 2 wives, 2 maidservants, and 11 children, okay, no small feat to move this crowd, across the Yabok River in the middle of the night. He's so stirred up that he can't stay asleep. And what I said in the J article is, I only have 2 children, but wrangling them to get in the car is so hard that I can't imagine moving 2 wives, 2 maidservants, 11 children, all the animals, and your entire village that's coming with you to cross the river. But when he gets across the river, we understand that he is left alone. Can you imagine that? After moving all these people, they're cold and wet and tired and cranky, he's left alone. He has peace and quiet. That seems pretty impossible. But what happens in the solitude, this moment of darkness and aloneness, maybe the whole rest of the world is sort of blacked out in his mind with these blinders on, he encounters an ish, a man, an angel, himself, his own ish, the person who is within. And he struggles. He struggles and he wrestles. And it is in this time the wrestling with God, maybe with morality, with a sense of his own unethical behavior, that results in Jacob being blessed and given a new name, Yisrael, one who struggles with God. It's our namesake. It's the name that we get when we struggle to reconcile, to do right, when we struggle with a sense of morality, with a sense of who we are and who we must be. Just like Jacob, we too become Yisrael, those who struggle with God. So it seemed ironic a bit that I wrote about this Torah portion and submitted it. I can show you the email with the timestamp on it. Not long before a very troubling report came out. I'm curious to know how many of you read about this or perhaps even read the report. It's the Morgan Lewis investigation report on the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, the ordaining body that ordained all of your clergy and clergy for generations before and probably after us. Did anyone see this report? A few hands. It's a report on unethical behavior at the College Institute. Unethical behavior in terms of sexual morality, racism, lack of inclusivity, LGBTQ inclusivity or not, all kinds of comments and behaviors that over generations were not only allowed to take place, but hidden at Hebrew Union College. The report is public and is online. It was published on November 9th if you're interested in reading it. What will be more interesting are the reports which are soon to come out from the Central Conference of American Rabbis and the Union for Reform Judaism. It's a tumultuous time for the Reform movement as it is for the world at large. But the Reform movement has not shied away from, or perhaps has been forced to, hold up a mirror to itself through its institutions, to look at what we too have done wrong, the injustices that have been perpetuated even within our own small community and our own sacred walls, our congregations, our rabbinic and cantorial schools, our camps. It's a time of struggling from Me Too until now in the world to look at the things that for generations, for years, have gone unspoken, have gone unmentioned, have been unspeakable. Here we are in a time of reckoning. Time's up. We come face to face now with the past, just as Jacob did, with certain behaviors that have caused a lack of peace in our own kishkas, just like they did for Jacob. Jacob's story continues, and in this week's Torah portion, he comes face to face with his brother Esau. They haven't seen each other for a very long time because after his unethical behavior, Jacob made himself scarce. They come face to face, and when they do, the verbs are rather confusing. Are they in the singular, the plural? It says he fell on his neck. Who fell on whose neck? It's not exactly clear. Of course, much ink has been spilled about this, but when you look at the words in the Torah, it's not exactly clear what this reckoning includes. Jacob meets his brother, and in meeting his brother for the first time, he meets his past. He meets his actions. He meets the Ish, the man who is at the center of himself. It's a very powerful moment in the Torah portion, and in fact, it's acknowledged with this verb, vayishakehu. They come together, the two brothers, and they embrace, they kiss, and there are these dots that are over the word in the Torah, these most unusual marks that appear nowhere else, these marks that highlight and call out this moment of incredible emotion and encounter. The commentators of old asked the question, was it a real embrace? Was it a forced embrace? Is it a phony embrace? Regardless, the emotion of the moment, the pain involved in a truthful reckoning, in a reconciliation which might have been unimaginable, is there. And there's no way to read this verse without acknowledging the intensity of that moment of reckoning. Surely in a world that asks us to look back at injustices, to look back and to evaluate our own behaviors, we see that we live in a culture steeped in sexism, racism, homophobia, all kinds of bias that has plagued our world quietly for so long and continues to plague us now, even as we start to uncover its truth. We are Yisrael. We are people who struggle with God, with a moral conscience. As Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel said, perhaps the most brilliant Jewish theologian of the 20th century, in a free society, some are guilty, all are responsible. We live in this moment in a time of reckoning. Just like Jacob did when he came up to Esau, had that passionate and emotional encounter, we live in a moment of reckoning too. There is so much work to be done, even nearby, even within our hallowed walls where we imagine that things have been perfect. We know from this first report on the Reform movement's rabbinic and cantorial school, and from the reports that are yet to come, that there is a painful history, there is a painful reckoning that needs to take place so that we can understand who we are. As we stand proud of our Reform movement and proud of who we are, we must also do the hard work of recognizing that there has been a lot of pain, that there has been a lot of injustice, that there has been a lot of unethical behavior, even right here within our own movement. The lesson of this Torah portion, in many ways, is about what it means to be and to become Yisrael, to become a people who struggle with God and with morality and to make right, to move forward, to live as Yisrael with the beautiful possibility of struggling with God, and to become a people that find that we are always engaged in the pursuit of morality. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We'll continue now with Shehachianu, even as the world is imperfect in so many ways, and even as we hold up a mirror to struggle with all that we wish, that we pray, and that we will work to make different, so too do we celebrate among all of this the wonderful events that happen in our life and that we can share with one another. So, would anybody like to share with us a great simcha, something wonderful? Ellen.
For the 30th anniversary from his bar mitzvah, we welcome twins into our Los Angeles family, and they think that at Cain and Abel's story.
Mazal Tov. So I'll repeat, the 43rd birthday of Benjamin, which makes it the 30th anniversary of his bar mitzvah, and the welcoming of twins into the LA part of the family. Mazel Tov. Ben, what's going on in your life? Woohoo! Tomorrow Ben becomes bar mitzvah right here, 4:30 in the afternoon. Please join us on the live stream so you can watch him chant from tomorrow's Torah portion and lead our community as he becomes the newest adult in the Jewish world and at Congregation Shereth Israel. We're very proud of you. You did it, Mama. He's going to actually get up here tomorrow and make us all proud. So, Mazel Tov, Ben. Roz. '50, did you say? A week from Sunday, the Tolsons celebrate 50 years together. Mazal Tov. Awesome, awesome. Hope you're doing something fun to celebrate.
Woo!
I didn't hear that at all. Temple University? Is that what you just said?
Yes, she
Got
got
into
into.
Temple University.
Woo!
Mazel Tov. That's amazing. Fantastic news. I can't wait till these masks come off, man. I can't. Wow. Actually be able to hear and breathe. I remember those days. Anybody else? Anything really cool going on? That's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, Ruth.
Kalenu had its first in-person rehearsal in forever, and we welcome some new members, so we are really excited about singing on December 3rd. So
Yes, that's a great, well, I was going to talk about it during announcements, but it's almost the Shehechianu.
Yes.
I'll say it now. Thanks for the reminder. On December 3rd, we are really excited to celebrate Hanukkah with all of you in person with latkes, and more importantly, to officially welcome Cantor Toby Glaser, to install him. He's been here for a whole long time, but so has the pandemic. And oh no, did I say latkes? Okay, sorry. Sufgania, which actually are better anyway.
BYO latkes.
Yeah, speaking of which, since I happen to have a turned on microphone, I'll tell you guys that the latkes at Trader Joe's are awesome. Anybody had them? Like, don't bother, well, you're still gonna grate because you cook everything delicious from scratch, but I'm not. And they're so good, air fry them. They're amazing. Yeah, Zach. Okay, Zach is going to send it to Peter so we can put it in under the dome, maybe.
Zach's he's gonna make latkes for everybody, apparently.
Oh, better yet, Zach's gonna bring them. Thank you, Zach, for volunteering. But be here on Friday night, December 3rd. That's in 2 weeks, because we're gonna have a really great time, and it's time to celebrate our Cantor. And do you put, like, in Australia, do you guys have like Vegemite sufganiyot?
I don't. You know, it could be. I definitely Vegemite latkes could be a thing. I'm sure there's somebody who's tried it somewhere. Somebody's tried everything with Vegemite. It's like hummus in Israel. You know, it's like there's chocolate hummus.
Well, my recollection from, I don't know, 25 years ago in Australia was that I've only been there once. That Vegemite was truly traumatizing to me.
Yeah,
so I don't know what.
That's how it's how we test if you're really welcome. Okay.
Yuck! But it might be good in fried dough.
I mean, it's good all the time. It's just, you know.
We'll let you guys be the judge. And oh, yes, Jacqueline. Did you say cookie?
Cooking, I think, right? Cookie. It is cookie. Sorry, no.
Okay.
It's not cooking. Only cookies.
Making cookies for hamotzi. Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, Alan.
So my son Isaac got married in July, but it was a sort of secret wedding. We weren't allowed to talk about it. So the official celebration is going to be this Sunday. So I would be remiss if I didn't now publicly announce that my son Isaac and Magda have been a couple, our family, or whatever that is, are married.
Sounds
Is there any particular reason it's okay to announce it in November, but not October?
So we can't get it together, and so I don't know they're thinking very, because it's still a virtual get-together.
Got it. They had a really long yichud, right? They didn't want to be bothered by 1 million people for 4 months, so that's great. I love it. A good tradition. Mazel tov to you guys. That's amazing. Yes, is that another hand?
Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is coming up. Yeah, and that's another great segue to an announcement, which I'll say it again later. But next Friday night for Thanksgiving, since turkey is soporific and we don't want anybody driving under the influence of turkey, we will be meeting virtually. So please join us online next Friday night. Raz, I hope you'll prepare your bathrobe, because we will look forward to seeing your pink bathrobe yet again. Thanksgiving, so many wonderful things coming up, and we're really excited to be able to be together. Yeah, as often as possible. So we'll stand and thank God for giving us life and sustaining us and enabling us to reach this day.
D major. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Aleinu is on page 282. We remain standing.
Just give me a D major.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We turn to page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember for Shloshim, Adrian, Christine. If anyone is observing Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days of mourning, please stand and share a name with us. If you're observing the first year of mourning, please stand and share a name with us. Please remain standing. Our Perpetual Memorials, many of these names have been mentioned, but we lovingly mention them every week in our congregation. Dr. Elliot Eisenberg, Judy Migdale, Leon Mervis, Harold Weiss, and Joanne May Weiss. The Art Site anniversaries on this Shabbat are, please stand as your loved one's name is read, Leo Bernard, Marcia Lee Berniker, Ed Kogan, Arnie Feldman, Bertha Feldman, Gordon Flegel, Emily Frankel, Morris Friedman, Evelyn Garber, Arnold Green, Hannah Hurwitz, Rita Landy, Louis Landisman, Minnie Leader, Benno McMullen, Leon Margulis, William Parker, Michelle Platt Ross, Eunice Rice, Clara Leah Rothblatt, Ann Becker Schwartzberg, Larry Silverstein, Raina Walt, Espira Zabrianskaya. If you're observing a yard site for someone whose name has not been mentioned, please stand and share that name with us. If you are joining us from at home, please say a name out loud as we fill our hearts with gratitude for the memory of all of those who continue to inspire us. We stand as one community and turn to page 294 to support our mourners with words of Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high Bring peace to us and to all Israel and to mourners everywhere. And we say together, Amen. Please be seated. Just a couple of announcements, and I don't have the little leaflety thing, so I'm sure there are interesting things on there. Thank you so much. We are going to be online. Thank you, Ruth. We're going to be online for 3 upcoming Shabbatot, just to make life easy for everyone. Please join us virtually on the Friday after Thanksgiving, which is next Friday, on the Friday, which happens to be Christmas Eve, and the Friday, which happens to be New Year's Eve. So please, wherever you are.
It's Christmas Eve.
When is Christmas Eve? That would be December 24th.
Thank you.
And December 31st. So on those 3 Friday nights, you need not drive and park. Put on your comfy slippers, pour yourself an eggnog, and join us for a beautiful Shabbat. Join us to welcome Cantor Glaser. Give Rabbi Abby lots of hugs between now and June 30th. What
There's
else?
time.
Oh, and thank you so much to Omree Gal Oz, again, as always, for playing such beautiful piano.
Tomorrow morning, Torah study at 9:15 with me. Please join me if you can. Also, if you have kids in studio, we are not meeting here this Sunday. We are meeting up at the beach, across from the beach chalet at Ocean Beach, for a beach cleanup, and we are asking that at least one parent or guardian stay with every child or group of children. So please plan on being with us. And if you are trying to figure out the logistics and you can't figure them out, send me an email and we'll figure it out.
Yes. I was just going to say
Yes.
that's on here, and I forgot all about it. Feels long from now. The Hanukkah candle lightings are not long from now. They are coming right up. And one of the silver linings of the pandemic is that we started lighting all together on Zoom last year, and we're going to do it again. It was really fun. It's a few minutes. It's, I think, 6 o'clock. Is that true? Mm-hmm. Every evening, join a group of your Shereth Israel friends or totally new people to have lovely people to say the blessings and light candles with. So 6 o'clock, and more information to come about how to sign on. But that's every night.
And do bring a menorah on the 3rd of December, because we are going to do a big candle lighting on the bima, hopefully fire safety permitting.
We've done it every year, so far so
Excellent.
good. Yeah, it's beautiful when we fill our sanctuary with all that light. A little nerve-wracking, but beautiful.
We'll get through it.
And be sure to join us tomorrow at 4:30 when Ben Keston is called to the Torah. It will be live streamed on YouTube, so everyone should be able to access it.
All right, Ben Keston, since you're having a bar mitzvah, why don't you join us for Kiddush and Motzi up here on the bima? We'll turn to page 5 as we bless the wine and challah, and please rise.
All right, I'm going to hold this, and you're going to hold the wine cup. You're going to hold the Kiddush cup. There we go. Hold that. Come on, microphone. There we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafel.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvratzon hinchilanu זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה לעמיחי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחיתנו. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Thank you, Ben. Ben said, I've never had wine, and he didn't want to have wine, so that's totally great.
Ben, would you like to ceremonially remove the cover from the challah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you hold up the challah for us? You can take that home to your family tonight. Just pick up the whole thing, and then, there we go. Let's take the cover. Oh no, it's stuck.
No, it's trying to stay.
There we go. All right. All right, and
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon
take it downstairs. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will conclude our service with Oseh Shalom.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there?
Yeah, it's, the words are Oseh and Shalom. Go for it. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Amen. Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, tevel ve'imru Amen. Ya da 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 ya 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 da 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 Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Please remove your leaflets from your prayer books. Shabbat Shalom.